We interrupt this program. Eyewitnesses in Jerusalem report the sky over the Mount of Olives has split open, and there is a black man in the sky.
I'm live at the Mount of Olives, and dear God, the sky has split open.
We've apparently lost signal with Mark on the ground, but we're attempting to reconnect with our senior correspondent, Andrew, who is positioned closer to the event zone. Stand by.
All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Sakar here with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakak Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom. All right, just wanted to do a lesson. Okay, going off that video. Now I had to alter the video a little bit because the original video actually had Yahweh Shai, okay, who the world English calls Jesus the Christ, on the, on the earth, swinging a sword and, doing all that madness. But, our Lord's not going to come like that. Okay, he's going to come back in a so-called UFO, so-called chariot. He's not going to get off the chariot. The scriptures, okay, don't say that. You see, but he is going to come, okay, in that fathership. Let me start off here. Let's go to the book of Luke. I'll start there. Luke chapter 21 and verse 25. And it says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations." See, and you're seeing that, man. You're seeing the distress of nations. Okay, nations coming against each other. Okay, wanting to pick up sword, okay, against one another. It says for perplexity, meaning there's when something's in perplexity, it's almost like there's no way out. You see, because these nations right now in this time, they're gearing up for war, man. All you hear is talk about World War III. Okay, these nations, okay, getting to themselves weapons of mass destruction. See, there's really no diplomacy, okay, at this time. Even though, right now there is a little bit of a pause, okay. But hey, World War III is coming. It says the sea and the waves roaring. It says men's hearts failing them for fear and looking for after those things which are coming on the earth. Okay, and World War III is coming and Yahweh Shai is coming. Okay, he's coming with the chariots, man. Yahweh Shai is coming, okay, with that fathership. It says, "For the powers of heaven shall be shaken." See, the rulership, man. Right now, they're shooken up because, they understand. Those are the elites. They know what's coming. But through their, wicked mindset, okay, the pride of their heart, the pride of their mind, okay, they think they're going to be able to defeat the Lord, but it's not going to happen. See, and the Lord's going to come back, okay, to deliver his elect, okay, and bring a destruction, okay, upon the rulership of Esau Edom. Let me go to matter of fact, let me get this in the blue letter because I want to read it in NLT. Isaiah chapter 31, and I'm gonna start off from verse 4. And it says, "But this is what the Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai has told me. When a strong lion stands growling over a sheep it has killed, it is not frightened by the shouts and noise of a whole crowd of shepherds." It says, "In the same way, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai of heaven's armies," see, the Lord's coming down, man. Okay, Yahweh Shai is going to be in that fathership, okay, right alongside or behind them, okay, are going to be the rest of the host of heaven, man. The other so-called UFOs, man. It says again, "In the same way, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai of heaven's armies will come down, see, and fight on Mount Zion." Now I'm gonna jump to the King James. It says, "As birds flying," seeing birds, they fly, in that V formation. Okay, you're going to have Yahweh Shai in that fathership, and then the rest of the host of heaven, okay, coming in and then glorious, in those glorious so-called UFOs. It says again, as birds flying, so will the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, listen, defend Jerusalem. Now Jerusalem, like we always bring out, is a people, okay, before it's a place. Okay, and that's wherever Israelites are scattered, okay, but that begins with the elect. Yeah, we have our people are scattered to the four corners of the earth, but the biggest deliverance will be right here, okay, in Babylon the Great. It says, defending, also he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. So it's going to be pretty much like the second Passover, man. Okay, during the first Passover, the Lord rescued his people out of the hands of the Pharaoh, okay, in ancient Egypt. Now this is spiritual Egypt, okay, and the Lord's only going to deliver his elect, though, in this time. See, and through the elect, and then all Israel, okay, is going to be saved. Let me go to the book of Acts. Now go to the first chapter. And you know what? I'm just going to start off with the 6th verse. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? See, so our forefathers, okay, they always knew that the kingdom is going to belong to, okay, the Israelites. Now, in today's time, so many of our people, okay, they're not in the right mindset, okay? They don't have the understanding. Well, it tells us in Jeremiah 17:4, okay, that we're going to discontinue from our heritage. And that's what's happened. But through the power and spirit, okay, and mercy of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, okay, he's giving us back, okay, that understanding. Now we know who we are. Okay, we know who our enemies. Okay, we know who our enemies are. Okay, we know World War III is coming, Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast. Okay, all these things. Okay, we have an understanding of, and again, that's through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But there's 2/3 of our people, just right here in so-called America, they just don't know. Okay, whether they don't know they're Israelites or they know they're Israelites, but they just don't have the correct mindset. Okay, they're not following the proper doctrine. And it says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put, see, in his own power. Because no man know the day, the hour, okay, when this is going to happen. Only the Father. It says, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. See, the uttermost part of the earth, okay, is right here in so-called America, also known as what? The ends of the earth, the fourth part of the world. You see? And right now you have the men of the Lord, the prophets raised up again. Okay, they're getting ready to see this spectacular, okay, deliverance, okay, and this spectacular destruction, okay, that the Lord is going to bring, man. And we had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up. Speaking about Yahweh Shai, and a cloud received them out of their sight. Seeing that cloud is going into what? That spaceship, man. Okay, and the same way, well, it's going to tell you, the same way the Lord left, same way he's going to come back. Listen, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. These were angels. It says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? So why are you looking in the sky? It says, this same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go, see, into heaven. So the same way he left in that chariot is the same way he's going to come back. Let me go to Revelation. Chapter 1, and let's go to verse 7. It says, behold, see, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. Why? Because the whole sky is going to be full of them chariots, man. Once that fathership, okay, leads the pack, okay, again, they're going to come as birds flying. Okay, then you're going to have all the rest of those so-called UFOs, UAPs, drones, okay, whatever madness, okay, or title they give them. Okay, it's going to be those spaceships, man. They're coming. Again, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. and they also which pierced him. Okay, and it says, and they also which pierced him. Okay, now who pierced the Lord, man? The Romans. Okay, that's why we're in this revised, okay, Roman Empire. Okay, whoever, okay, did that, those soldiers, they're back today. Through the reincarnation. Those who can receive it. Okay, and they're gonna see, man. They're gonna see this return. And it says again, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. So, and all kindreds of the earth shall well because of him. Even so, amen. So let it be. You see? So it says all the kindreds of the earth is going to wail, because the Lord's not going to come, okay, with open arms, okay, handing out candy canes and chocolates, okay, and Hershey's Kisses, man. No, the Lord's not coming like that. Okay, he's coming to what? To make war. Let me grab that. That's here in Revelation 19 and verse 11. Listen, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, speaking about that fathership. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. Okay, speaking about Yahweh Shai. And in righteousness, listen, he does judge and make war. That's what he's coming to bring, judgment, and he's coming to bring war, okay, upon first and foremost, the Edomites. Okay, but the other nations, and even 2/3 of our own people, because they're still in that Gentile mindset. Okay, they're still calling themselves black, still calling themselves Mexican, still calling themselves Native American. Okay, so on and so forth. Okay, they don't even know who they are. You see, and then you got those that know they're Israelites, but their mindset is still off. Again, following the incorrect doctrine. Okay, they've come against the Lord, man. The Lord's gonna come bring war, okay, upon all these people. Again, beginning with Esau, the nations, and then 2/3. It says his eyes were as a flame of fire. It says, and on his head were many crowns, okay, which is symbolic of all the nations, okay, all falling under his feet. You see, and that's going to begin with Esau, okay, because right now Esau, he's in that power seat position. It says, and he had a name written that no man knew, see, but he himself. When you go into that name, it's a Noma, okay, which is going to go into what? His rank, okay, his position, his authority. You see, because we'll keep reading. It says, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. Because that vesture dipped in blood, that's symbolic again of all the destruction, all the bloodshed, okay, that's getting ready to come upon the earth, especially here in so-called America. It says, and the armies, listen, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. So you're gonna have that fathership. Okay, in the book of, we're going to get it next. 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, says it was so big, it looked like a mountain. That's how huge, okay, that fathership's going to be. But you're going to have the rest of those so-called UFOs, those spaceships, the chariots, how about Shimei Shai, they're going to be following behind, again, as birds flying, man. They're going to come in that V formation. It says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in white linen, white and clean. Hey, this is the purity, okay, the glory, okay, how Yahweh Shai is coming right along with the host of heaven, the angels. It says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness, see, and the wrath of the Almighty power. You see, the Lord's coming in that wrath of the Most High, man. It says, and he hath on his vesture, on his thigh, a name written, King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. See, and this is his rank, his authority. Okay, it's going to be on his garment. Because you got some, Christians, okay, or just, some bug outs. They think that the Lord is going to have a tattoo on him. No. Okay, this is going to be written upon his garment. Okay, specifying again his rank, his authority, man. Okay, he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. You see, so let's finish off. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 13, and we'll finish there. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, and we're going to go ahead and start at the top. And I'm reading in the Good News Translation. It says, the 7 days passed, and the following night I had a dream. It says, in my dream, I saw a wind coming out of the sea. It says, and stirring up great waves. I'll read that again. It says, in my dream I saw a wind coming out of the sea and stirring up great waves. As I watched, the wind brought it out of the sea and would look like a man, and he was flying upon the clouds. It says, when he turned his face, everything he looked at began to tremble, because the scriptures describe, Yahweh Shai is an austere man. He's coming, again, he's not coming back with open arms, man. He's coming to bring destruction. Yeah, he's going to deliver the elect, but there's going to be a great destruction that the Lord's going to bring. And it says he was flying upon, the cloud. Let me get a quick precept. He was flying upon the clouds. Was that Psalm 104? It says he made his clouds of chariots. Let me see. Psalms chapter 104. And I'm going to start at the top. Yep, that's it. It says, blessed the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, O my soul, O my Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, my power. Thou art very great, and thou art clothed with honor and majesty. It says, who coverest thyself with light, as with the garment. See, the Lord's all about truth, man. It says, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. Listen, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh, the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings, of the wind. And Yahweh Shai is going to come, in that great cloud. Listen, I'll read verse 3 again. It says, as I watched, the wind brought with it out of the sea, which is the heavens, the sky, would look like a man. And he was flying on the clouds. When he turned his face, everything he looked at began to tremble. It says, and when he spoke, everyone who heard his voice melted like wax in a fire, because, we started off with that scripture, right? That the powers of heaven, are going to be shaken. The rulership, of this current world. Then you're going to have the people. They're all going to be in fear. Again, it's going to be like nothing they've ever imagined. You see, again, when you go to these so-called churches and, so on and so forth, they teach, they say Jesus, right? We know it's not his name, that he's going to come back, getting ready to accept anybody and everybody, but that's not true, man. The Lord's coming back with fierce anger, but yet he is going to deliver an elect. It says, and when he spoke, everyone who heard his voice melted like wax in the fire. I looked again and saw a crowd too large to count. They were gathered together from all parts of the world, to fight against the man who had come up out of the sea. Going into what? There was war in heaven. Let me grab that. That's the book of Revelation. Because, again, the stupid Christians, they believe this is when the spiritual demon Satan, they say the spiritual demon Satan got kicked out of heaven, and cast down into the earth, and now he's in hell, or whatever, however they say it. But no, this is speaking about what's getting ready to happen, man. The devil's speaking about, Esau. But let me grab it. Revelation 12 and verse 7. Listen, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is the Roman Empire, man. We're in that revised, Roman Empire. And the dragon fought and his angels, going into what is military. You see, because what's going to happen is during World War III, when these nations see Yahweh Shai coming back in that fathership, they're going to turn to fight the Lord, man. You see, they're going to stop what they're doing. They're going to fight against, Yahweh Shai. It says, and prevailed not. They're not going to win. Yahweh Shai is going to destroy them, man. And we're going to get that when we read, when we're reading right now in 2 Ezra 13th chapter. It says, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. You see, so they're going to lose their rulership. Esau, and then, going into what he had many crowns upon his head. These nations, they're never going to rule again, man. All these nations had a chance to rule. Right now, Esau's in rulership, but it's all going to go down, man. It's all going to fall. It is falling apart. It says, and the great dragon, was cast out. Listen, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Now, who's deceived the whole world? Through his falsehoods, his lies, his doctrines, democracy, feminism, the alphabet agendas. Who's done this? Who's passed unlawful decrees? Who rules the earth in wickedness? It only points to one man. It says, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with them, meaning they lost their power seat position, man. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, listen, now has come salvation, and the strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, see Yahushai, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power, see, day and night. So they lie to us. Okay, they poison us with their GMOs. Okay, they pollute the air, they pollute the water. Okay, they put pork, okay, and everything, and that's what they do. They accuse, okay, Israel, okay, of wrongdoing. Well, yeah, the majority man, we're all messed up. Okay, we're all through. Okay, we're all through in here in this flesh, man. That's why we need Yahweh Shai. That's why, hey, we need salvation. That's why it says now has come salvation. You see, so this is going to be at the end when the Lord puts down, okay, all rulership, okay, and right now Esau's in the power seat position. When he takes him down, that's going to be it, man. You see? So let's go back to Second Esdras, then I'll go ahead and close out. Second Esdras 13, where I leave off at. I'll read verse 5 again. It says, I looked again and saw a crowd too large to count. They were gathered together from all parts of the world to fight against the man who had come up out of the sea. It says, when I watched the man carve out a mountain and fly upon it. See, he thought it was a mountain. That's how big, okay, that fathership's going to be. Esdras thought it was a mountain. Listen, that says, I tried to see the place or the region from where the mountain was carved, but I couldn't. It says, then I saw all the people who had come together to make war, see, against him were terrified, but they still prepared to fight him. See, yet they durst fight, as it says in the King James, man. Hey, because the Lord going to put the spirit upon them to continue to try, okay, to win, man, but they're not going to win. Okay, they're going to lose. It says, when the man saw the great crowd advancing to attack him, he did not take up any weapons. It says, the only thing I saw was what looked like a stream of fire coming out of his mouth. See, out of that opening of the chariot. It says he sent out a flaming wind from his lips and a storm of sparks from his tongue. The stream of fire, the flaming wind, see, and the great storm combined. It's going to be that laser beam, man. The Lord going to destroy these devils, okay, with lasers. And it says, and swept down on the crowd that was coming to attack him and burned them all up. It says, in a single moment, the crowd too large to count vanished, and there was nothing left but powdery ashes and the smell of smoke. As it says in the King James, it says, I perceived nothing but the dust and the smell of smoke, man. And the Lord's going to destroy them, man. He's going to annihilate them. It says, I was shocked when I saw what had happened. You see, so this is why the Lord's going to come back, man. He's going to come back again to bring a destruction, okay, upon Esau, who's in the power seat, okay, and that's going to pretty much take down all the nations, okay, and then bring a deliverance to those of the elect, whoever they may be, Lord willing, okay, we be a part of that number. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David doing this work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.